In thinking about human behavior, we can see that most often humans desire the easiest, most fun, fastest way to get from point A to point B. But real and lasting change isn't always that simple. James Clear says, creating habits means making behavior changes that are obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Most basically, it's got to be enjoyable, which is actually why so many people don't eat healthy or exercise. They haven't figured out a way to make those things enjoyable for themselves. I don't think they've tried group fitness yet. Hello and welcome back. I hope you've had a chance to listen to last week's episode about SMART goal setting. If not, give it a listen today after this one, because remember, all my episodes are really short. Today, I'm going to speak about habits and how they can help you reach your goals. Also, about how there are some ideas that working on habits instead of large goals can be an easier way for some people to make improvements and positive changes in their lives. I mentioned before that I'm going to speak about James Clear's book called Atomic Habits. Atomic habits use the idea of tiny micro habits, think the size of an atom, over time compound into big change, just like saving and investing for retirement. Creating tiny good habits, which is really investing in yourself, will over time compound and you'll become the person you want to be, who you were meant to be. And when you're the person that you were meant to be, you'll be a person that achieves and receives all you want out of your life. Isn't that just a great, great feeling?
Can you say that again? Just the way you said it.
This book really was a game changer for me. I cannot speak highly enough about it. It changed the way that I think about systems for accomplishing change. What is really cool about this is that it's an entirely different way to present opportunity for growth, with the focus being more on becoming a person that does, has, or is fill in the blank. What this means is that instead of stating a goal of, let's say, writing a book, the theory of atomic habits is that if a person takes tiny steps each day to become a writer by writing, then naturally that book, it will follow. Take a moment to think about some of your life's accomplishments. Now, think about all the things that led up to them. Let's say you graduated high school or college. What types of little habits did you have that led up to your graduation? Was it studying for a certain time each day? Turning in your assignments by the day before their due date? When you graduated, did you think, I did that, and now it's done? Or did you feel more empowered to become a changed person that can do challenging things for long periods of time? This type of question will potentially help you decide if you're a person that is more of a goal setter and achiever, or a person that inherently changes each time you achieve, i.e., are you a habit creator? Of course, we all change in some way when we accomplish a goal, at least temporarily, but oftentimes we revert back to our previous ways once it's completed. Think about the goal of losing weight and how often people can achieve a result to lose X amount of weight, but they often make way too many and too big of changes all at once, just looking at the end goal. They completely change the way they eat. They start exercising when they never did before. They give up alcohol and sweets. Then, a few months down the road, maybe one tiny habit that got them to their weight loss goal has actually integrated into their life. But all the rest have fallen away because it was just all too much. Now they've gained back all that weight they've worked so hard to lose. And I use that example because that is a big one for people. People do talk about wanting to lose weight. In my understanding of atomic habits, the main idea is to be able to sustain the changes that we make for the better. By taking small baby steps, we will then continue to accomplish all the positive life changes that we desire because we have become the person who is capable of doing those things. The same can be true for habits that we do not want to have, and they usually all start the same way. For today, we're going to keep it positive, but definitely look at the not so great habits you have and consider how you got there. They always started out by just one tiny step. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. That's a quote right from James Clear's book. Here is where I get to connect the process of writing SMART goals and creating habits to accomplish positive change. Goals, in and of themselves, they are a good thing. They are a large part of the big picture of your life. Goals, especially written down, help a person really get clear and clarify what kind of a person that they want to be and what they want out of their life. It is true that new systems generally need to be created in order to accomplish something that one hasn't done before. But what makes the system sustainable in the long term beyond the reach of the goal? The small habits that you've created. This is where I feel like one isn't better than the other. It's more about a personal choice. Are you a person that wants to start at the end with a big goal and work backward in a sense? Or in the beginning with the tiny habits, but a clear path toward who you want to become? In thinking about human behavior, we can see that most often humans desire the easiest, most fun, fastest way to get from point A to point B. But real and lasting change isn't always that simple. James Clear says, creating habits means making behavior changes that are obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Most basically, it's got to be enjoyable, which is actually why so many people don't eat healthy or exercise. They haven't figured out a way to make those things enjoyable for themselves. I don't think they've tried group fitness yet. The next time you want to make a change in your life, writing it down seems to be a really great place to start. Get specific and feel it in your bones as if it were already true. Next, become aware of the things that you do that would aid in making that change and those that would hinder it. Think about your personality. Do you know a way to make habits or changes enjoyable for yourself? If you don't, consider a person who has, does, or is the desired change you want. What do they do that you don't? This can help give you an idea of creating habits for yourself. Lastly, take your ideas for daily improvement to move toward your goal and make them even smaller. If your goal is to meditate every morning for 20 minutes, you might think to start at meditating every 5 minutes or every morning for 5 minutes. Take it way back from there when you are starting out. Make the goal to just meditate every day at any time of day for 1 minute. Once you have that down, start doing it at the same time each morning for 1 minute. Then increase to 3 minutes and so on. This is the most baby step way, the most atomic way to create that lasting habit. If you want to learn so much more and get great detailed instructions on creating lasting habits, definitely give Atomic Habits a read. I could talk about this book for hours. If you're up for it, I would love to hear about what habits you have that have given you a lasting change in your life. And if you just started doing them on your own, or did you have a goal in mind first? Like I said before, I think this is one of those chicken and egg scenarios, which comes first, and they can't really exist without each other. Next week's episode is about how to level up from negative emotions by choosing a new feeling. I love you, Misfits. Thank you so much for sharing and subscribing, and I cannot wait to hear how you've been doing. Bye.
MISSFIT Wellness is produced by Golden Oak Media. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoyed this episode on habits, be sure to check out How to Utilize SMART Goals and Miracle Mornings.